Hey, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today is a little bit of a different video. I had a subscriber put in a request to know more about me as a person, so I thought I should change up the background, change up how I'm recording this, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So as you guys saw in the screenshot, there are multiple pieces to it, so I'm gonna do my best to be as detailed but brief with my responses to each part. So yeah, okay, let's officially get started. Everything about myself, that's actually a very heavy loaded, open-ended question, so bear with me as I try to explain who I am. So my full name is Jessica, but I prefer to go by Jess. I think it fits a lot better with my personality. Short, simple, to the point, very chill, laid back. I'm not super into horoscopes, but I know I'm an Aquarius, and I think I've heard that Aquariuses are pretty chill, so I like to think I'm pretty chill. Plus, I'm from SoCal, so if you haven't been to California, call me a beach bum if you will. That's a compliment. It's a matter of fact. It's not even a question at hand. So I lived in California my whole life. I'm very spoiled in the fact that we have great weather over here, great food, and I don't picture myself really retiring anywhere besides California, specifically San Diego. So we'll see when time comes, but right now I do want to just travel, I want to experience, and I really just want to be financially free, get out of the rat race, if you will. So yeah, I like to do a lot of things outside of trading. One thing for sure is just spending quality time with people that I love. I think it's so important to set a time aside to spend time with those you love, because you never know how much time you have left. Growing up, I was very close to my family, and most of them are in Los Angeles, and then some are like scattered across the states and then out of the country. But because I grew up like dominantly around people, my family, I was just always so close. So then when we moved away, it became really hard to stay in touch, because you know, like growing up as a teenager, you know how like those teenage years can be. Then high school, you get distracted, and then college, and just things start to like drift, if you will. And then actual physical distance itself from LA to SD, and during that time, obviously I didn't know how to drive, I didn't make money, so it was kind of hard. So now I really want to make sure that I put time aside to see people. I just recently went to go visit my grandma because she's getting a bit older, and you know, time is of the essence. I've come to really realize that time can't be borrowed. Pretty much, you're not gonna get any younger. You know, tomorrow you're gonna be a day older. 5 minutes from this video, you're gonna be 5 minutes older. So you really just have to take as much time as you can with people that you care about, because you also don't know how much time they might have left. And so yeah, just knowing that that is like my biggest thing about me. I hope that says enough. The second thing is that I'm really big into fitness. I think it's important to really work on your mental health. I think it's a real thing. I know it's a real thing, that your mental health can really drive you certain places. If you have like a bad mental state of mind, it can lead you to feeling much worse than you would want to be, and it can lead you to making decisions that you weren't making, that you wouldn't want to make, if that makes sense. So when I go be active, when I'm feeling healthy, when I'm diving into fitness, it makes me feel so much better. Not only am I working obviously like my physical appearance, but on my mental attitude. I tend to beat myself up a lot. I hold myself at a standard that I hope to like reach and essentially accomplish, but sometimes obviously when we don't meet those goals or like the standard, then you start to think like, well, like, why are you acting this way? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you performing so badly? And not even in the sense of trading, just kind of in general. So it's something that I've been working to become better at. For the most part, I'm very optimistic. For example, back in high school, I was on the volleyball team, and being a captain of the team, it's really important to like have a very positive outlook, especially if you are down in a game. That's for any sport, by the way. But being positive and like being like the reflection of your team is so important. So that's why I know that having like a mental attitude and like showcasing that, it could take you such a long way. So yeah, I definitely strive to always be as positive as possible. And hopefully it's not too much for you guys. Sometimes I talk too much when I'm nervous too, like right now, or even in my interview with Chris. So yeah, and I stumble, especially when I talk about myself. I feel like I stumble, or like I go on tangents, because again, I feel nervous. But anyways, let's get back to the question. And then the third thing, I guess, one more piece I want to include in there is that I'm a big food junkie. So it's, again, not relative to trading whatsoever, and you might not grab any inspiration from this, but that's fine. I just want you to know who I am, since that's what the question was. But I love food. Like, if it's Thai food, if it's Mexican food, shoot, Jamaican food, Indian food, African food, American, I don't even care what category, Chinese, I will eat it. I will eat it. I have, a picky taste when it comes to certain things, such as like raw meats. I can't have raw sushi, like bean sprouts. It's not even that I'm allergic, I just don't prefer it, Like, if you ask me, let's go get sushi, I'd be like, do you really want that? If so, you can get that. I'll just go to the restaurant next door, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I just love food. I think it's so fun to just go on food dates and food adventures, and especially because I live in SoCal, like, it's not too far from different cities. So like from SC to LA is about, depending on the location you're driving to, it could be anywhere from like 1.5 to 3 hours. So I mean, it's not too bad in my opinion to go, and like, I want to try a specific restaurant out there, I'll just go for it. But yeah, I'm gonna stop binge talking about food, because as you can tell, I'm kind of hungry. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, and hopefully you guys are able to gather a better judgment of who I am as a person. If you guys want to know more about me, let me know down below. I could definitely answer some more questions. But yeah, let's move on to the next. So this is actually one of my favorite questions that I've seen on like YouTube and stuff, because I like to see people's progression through their trader journey, as to why they first started, what's going on during their like journey, and then where they are at now. And like, when they reflect, they see like how far they've come, the reason why they started, and then why they're still continuing to do it. So I think it's really cool. For me, I started in the overall market about 2 years ago. When I first heard about trading, it was because of Wall Street bets. Now, if you guys obviously are aware of like the coronavirus, the pandemic, everything shut down, the market became into a bull market. Like, it was insane. If you guys were to pull up like the charts of what I think, like, after the drop when COVID first hit and like the shutdown, and then from there and then on up until like recently, it's been like a whole like vertical spread up, right? So I heard about the stock market because of Wall Street Bets. So Wall Street Bets is like a forum, or like a group you can call them, on Reddit, pretty much everywhere now at this point, where they would like Diamond Hands, GameStop, Bed Bath and Beyond, I think, a bunch of like crap coins such as like Dogecoin, ADA now, Shibu or something. I don't even know the names at this point. There's just so many different kinds. But that's what first pulled my attention towards trading, like actual day trading in the stock market, because I'm like, how are people flipping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, whether it be overnight or a few days or a few weeks, into hundreds of thousands to a few million? And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like, let me get a piece of that too. That will help me out so much, especially during the pandemic, and then also help my family. Perfect. Win, 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 right? That was it. Obviously, didn't know anything about losses, didn't know anything about trading psychology, so that kind of slapped me in the face really quick. But anyways, aside from the point, the second reason why I got into trading is because, so I've worked pretty much my whole life. I like to say I'm still a bit young, but I've worked legally since I was 16, but then for my family since I was 11. So for more than half my life, I've been working. And on top of that, I was like instilled with this idea that you have to follow the traditional path of, go to school, go to college, graduate, get a high paying job, work up the corporate ladder, pretty much retire when you're like, what, 60? I think it's 65 now, or 67, something along the lines of, especially because it's so expensive to live nowadays. But yeah, pretty much work until you die. So yeah, I've always had the idea, and that the more harder you work, the more you can reap from those rewards. And I do believe in like a hard working, like work ethic kind of thing, but not more so like putting all of your time, all of your life in order to be rewarded, if that makes any sense. So I was tired of being in the rat race, like this ideology that you have to work for someone else in order to survive, or you have to be part of corporate in order to mean something, to have value, to show that you have a good resume. Like, all of these things that seem so important, especially to my mom, who came from another country, who had to quit high school to start working, who had to like fend for herself for her whole life. Like, it's a lot different, especially now in this day and age, right? So I wanted to get out of that. I wanted to get out of this traditional sense of all of that. And with, me bringing up my mom, like, I want to just provide more for my family, for my loved ones, people that I care about. And so was like, dude, like I need to figure a way to make extra money. Like me working at this fast food joint is not going to be enough. Me graduating college, not even knowing what I'm going to major in, first of all, like what am I supposed to do with that? What if I don't even use my degree? Because that's such a common thing too. So it was a lot of things to battle with, but essentially that also pushed me into trading. And here we are. I definitely do have some trading goals in mind. I don't have any specific timeline for them, just because when I was emphasizing the time that I wanted to reach or complete that goal, I was really putting a lot more pressure on my shoulders, thus like, you know, deterring me from my actual path and making things harder and me blowing accounts. So it became really tough at one point, psychologically speaking, and obviously financially. So I'm at a much better place now where I am really trying to focus on the process. So I would like to say that my trading goals is definitely like mastering my edge in the market. So it's really hard, especially when you're still trying to figure out your strategy. Right now, I am sticking to one strategy finally after testing a few out and realizing what kind of trader that I am. I have been very thankful and lucky to be around like really awesome, like-minded traders who are not only like supportive, but understand like where I'm coming from, and I get to talk to them on a daily about it if I wanted to. So there's definitely that goal, just to again master my edge and strategy in the market. And then also really developing my trading psychology. I think I've really emphasized these 2 points, these 2 goals of mine throughout my channel as well as on my interview, because it's just that important to me. You know, obviously there's like a dollar amount that some people might have in mind. They might not say it on camera, and they might just keep saying it's these 2 points, but in the back of their mind they have this dollar amount in their head, and that's okay. I mean, you're human, you have bills to pay, you got a means to survive. It makes sense. So of course I have a dollar amount in mind I would like to reach in order to set myself up for success, but I'm not going to say it on the video because I don't want to put it into the world, into the existence, because it's going to put more pressure on me and karma. I don't want that. So focusing on those first 2 goals, mastering my strategy, I think a big thing that I'm doing right now to be able to reach that goal is to is being part of this Discord group that I joined recently, and they focus heavily on supply and demand. Their educational content is amazing. This guy named Danny, he's really smart. He's young too, which is crazy to think that he's young and this successful. But when I've gone through some of his course, like his educational videos, it's been super like clear, to the point, broken down. And even with his live streams, it's been really great to see and understand why he's doing what he's doing with supply and demand zones. And it resonates with me because not only 1, is he younger, 2, he's doing it for similar reasons as I am, but also 3, how he trades is how I like to be, like in and out. You know, obviously you want to have your confluences and confirmations, but like he's in and out, and I prefer to be in and out at least now within 10 minutes or so, because when I hold too long, then I get more anxious, and I would prefer not to be in that state of mind, which leads me to the second thing, as I mentioned, trying to become better psychologically speaking. I want to be able to be in more control of my emotions. I can't control the market, right? I can't control what I see, but I can control how I feel when I see certain things play out, right? So I want to learn how to not be so upset. I definitely have become more numb compared to before when it comes to losses. I think it was like a week or 2 ago, I was having a very bad mental breakdown week. I was so close to quitting, like it's not even a joke. But as I mentioned, having really good like training support people around you, and also just knowing why you're doing this helps so much. So those things are going to be helping me push towards reaching like that goal of developing a better training psychology. And then obviously with the training psychology thing, I do want to be able to control the habit of overtrading. So not even just the emotional aspect of psychology, but just the connection of wanting to overtrade to either make back like a drawdown, or to reach like a certain threshold, or to reach like a certain profit target. It gets hard. It gets hard, especially when you see a really nice setup on your charts. Like you want to take the trade, even if you've already taken like 6 or 7 or 10 trades, but you see another perfect one. Like I also want to learn how to step away from those. For example, like today, there was a really nice setup off of the demand zone. And I was like, dude, I know I should probably not take it, but I took it because everything lined up with my plan. So I think like in events like those, it's not too bad for me to overtrade, because really like everything lines up the way I would want it to. but also like knowing when it's time to take a break away from the screen. I have a very hard time with that. So that connects with the overtraining thing, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a better game plan for it. Because every time I say, oh, I see a good setup, that's every time I'm overtraining. So, I mean, at least the first step is accepting, right? Accepting and recognizing, and then denial. I don't even know what the 7 steps are, but you get where I'm coming from. But I hope that answered your questions about what my training goals are. Celestial Plane 8606, thank you so much again for submitting your comment and wanting to know a little bit more about me. I hope that I answered your questions as like clearly and thoroughly as possible, but also as short as possible, even though this video is super long in itself. If you have any more questions you'd like to know about me, or you want to talk about something, just put a comment down below as usual, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. We are slowly growing. I think I mentioned this in every video by now, that I'm just thankful for your support, and I hope that this is a safe space for each of you to be able to talk about how you feel, what you're seeing, what you believe, your trading journey, your struggles, your accomplishments, all of that sorts, because that's how I feel when I come onto YouTube. When I post a video or when I talk to you guys, I feel safe to express my opinion, and I feel safe that you guys are open-minded to, you know, receive and reciprocate the same energy. So anyways, thank you again for your time. As always, I wish you nothing but success in your trading journey. If you guys would like to purchase an account so you can start your evaluation towards being a funded trader, all of those links are down below in the description. Our 500 sub giveaway is coming sooner than we think. We are growing so fast. But yeah, thank you again for your time, and I'll see you all in the next video.